the gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah, the kicker's probably taller. In a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? A happy Monday morning to you. Welcome on in, Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. We're in the Cutwater Studios. Make sure to pick up a Cutwater next time you're at the gas station or grocery store. 2 for $7, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. And John Mallory, we welcome you in. Hope you had a good weekend. And as Boise Bronco says, good morning, happy Monday. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, right. One of those mornings, more like a nightmare that this fan base was hoping it wouldn't wake up from. Kind of took to another level today, just this season. And I guess now what's going to come from this? What's more? And obviously, BJ, you broke this story, I believe, this morning. And here we go.
Yeah, I found out late last night, about 1 a.m. from a couple different people, worked it all night, and then felt confident at about 7:01, I think it was, to send this out. Did send it to the paying subscribers of Bronco Nation News about 15 minutes early. So if you're a paying subscriber of BNN, hopefully you got the email and I was going to say enjoyed the scoop. And I'm sure not many people enjoyed the news that came in the email, but one of your benefits of being a paying subscriber, getting it first. So would love to have others subscribe and join us. But Eric McAlister, I'm sure you've heard the news by now. We already have record viewership here, Johnny. Eric McAlister transferring from the Boise State football team. He cannot officially enter the transfer portal until December 4th, but he has cleaned out his locker. He told the team yesterday, players and coaches, that he was gone. He has now since been deleted from the Boise State roster online. And he has, Andy Avalos gave Bronco Nation News a statement via team spokesman about 7 o'clock this morning, which was put in my story. We'll get into that. There's some weird wording from Andy Avalos in the statement, but Johnny, it was already kind of starting to, I don't know if spiraling out of control is the right word, but 4-5, a lot of angst, a lot of unhappiness, historic, poor performance in terms of 1997. I think the last time this team was 4-5, obviously not in a good place. And now you have your, one of the premier players on the team deciding with 3 games left to not finish out the season and say, I'm heading out. Just stunning news this morning. And hope folks have been to Bronco Nation News and read the story. But your initial thoughts when you saw this?
When I first saw it, I thought, okay, well, he's leaving now. I mean, the guy gets as many targets as any receiver in the country. Like, maybe he would want to stay and continue to build that resume for when he can get in the portal, and maybe he has more offers, or maybe he's thinking, look, I don't want to get hurt. I'm not happy here. My physical or mental health isn't right. I don't like being here. I got to go. Then you think, like, well, what about class? Does he just take online classes? I believe he has to finish out the semester academically. Is he still going to go to his classes on campus? Is he still living in Boise to just become now just a traditional student, who I believe would still be on scholarship, obviously? I had a lot of those weird questions flying in there. And then you have to think, is this going to be it, or who's coming next? A couple of things there. But the ultimate thing, when I thought about it, BJ, thinking, gosh, he sure gets a lot of targets. There's a lot of teams that are 4-5 out there, and their number one receiver isn't just transferring because they're 1 game under 500 with 3 games to go. I think this is more than just the record. Now, had they beat Fresno, is McAllister gone? We will never know. Maybe not. If they would have won, he would have stuck it out. I don't think he would have been here at the end of the year. I think that's pretty clear now, BJ. And I don't know. Who knows what other rumblings are going on inside that building with the coaching staff, with the players. This is a very unfortunate situation. McAllister was having a heck of a year. He was probably going to be on the all-conference team at some point, BJ, first team or second team, all-Mountain West wide receiver. I would imagine he's going to get some attention in the transfer portal. We've all watching this have seen him play. He's a terrific player, and that's another bummer too. This holds back the development of that receiver room. I mean, McAllister, we all thought, no, he's not going to go to the pros yet, although he can. This is year 3. He is draft eligible, but that doesn't seem to be in the future plans immediately. Yep. I was thinking too, I mean, BJ, next year, going into next year, he's one of the pivotal pieces of the program, and now you got to find who your receiver number 1 is, not just for next year, BJ, but for today.
And I'm trying to, I got to, looks like we lost my camera here, Johnny. Let's see what's going on. Johnny, split screen. There we go. We'll fix this here, I guess, in a second. But I guess a couple things, Johnny. First of all, as you can imagine, once I started getting texts about this, and then even in the last hour and a half since this has gone public, I'm hearing a lot of things, seeing a lot of things, texts, DMs. So I'm trying to put facts from, opinion, I guess, is a little tough when discussing this because there are things out there, but that I have not been able to confirm. But I think, Johnny, you have to imagine, right, if you're doing this with 3 games left, like there's probably been some back channeling going on already with other schools. I mean, you can't officially enter the portal till December 4th, but I would assume that a player like that has been either looking around or his parents have been talking to schools. I mean, it's the dirty, supposed to be illegal part of the transfer business, but you just have to imagine there's already been some back channeling going on. And so whether he's already made a decision on a next school, whether he knows he's going to have options and he just doesn't want to get hurt these last 3 games, there's a lot of others, a lot of possibilities here. But you're talking about him getting attention in the transfer portal on December 4th. I'm sure he will. But I would assume he already has been, and that is part of this decision, I think, is that doesn't want to get hurt, already knows he has a ton of interest. If not, maybe he already even picked the school. Who knows? I mean, that stuff does happen behind the scenes. We'll have to wait till that shakes out. That cannot happen till at least, as I said, December 4th. But, there's so many questions that come with this. Is this the start of other players? Is this, is there, again, got to be careful how I say some of this, but you wonder, Johnny, what message is this sending from Eric McAlister? Folks are obviously wanting to say he's giving up on the team. It's a horrible look for Eric McAlister. I get that, but you do wonder if there's another reason for doing it now. And what does that say about players in the locker room and their thoughts on Andy Avalos. I mean, I'm just throwing that. I mean, if one of your star players with 3 games left can't finish out the season, what is that telling you about him wanting to still be here? And again, I've reached out to Eric. I'm sure everybody in town has, trying to get the story from him as to what's going on here. But it's a very interesting look, and I got to be honest, Johnny, it's not a great look for Andy Avalos to have your star player deciding he doesn't even want to finish out the season.
No, it's tough, man. This season hasn't been a great look for Andy Avalos and this staff. I mean, the quarterback situation. I mean, there's so many things to talk about with this team. That's my takeaway with this team. The stories, the drama, it just never ended. It went from one story to a next, and most of them weren't positive. Most of them weren't fan-friendly. This has been one of the toughest seasons, I think, for everybody involved with Boise State football. That's players, coaches, administrators, fans, heck, media members. I don't know. I mean, this has been one of those seasons where it's just feels like one crisis to a next. And what you were saying there, BJ, who knows what's coming? I mean, this is not going to be a one-off. I mean, there's going to be a lot of other players that leave. I would just throw out my opinion. That's what happens today. This is just the nature of the beast. And it's like, in this era, no one wants to be the fall guy. No one wants to be, no one wants the finger pointed. The coaches want to say, hey, it's not us, it's the players. Players say, hey, it's not us. We're good. Blame the coaches. We didn't sign up to play for this. Like, it's kind of this blame game. And then you get kind of thrown in there, BJ, where some people are commenting, and I get it. Bad look for him, McAllister, as a person, just leaving a commitment like that in the middle of the night, so to speak. But that doesn't bug me as much because that's just what kids do now. I've accepted it, and that's kind of the name of the game. Eric McAllister wasn't willing to give this team the rest of this season, the brotherhood. He wasn't willing to stick it out the final 3 games, see what happens in a bowl game, go ahead, get his 15 targets a game, be on the All-Mountain West team, and then make his next step in his football journey. BJ, he wasn't willing to risk that. That's how bad he wants out of this thing. He wasn't willing to give the program and the brotherhood and all that stuff the rest of the season and still kind of think about it. Nope, he's gone.
So what do you think that says, that he wasn't willing to stick it out? What do you think that says about Andy Avalos? I mean, this cannot be seen as a good look, unfortunately, for Andy.
No, Andy's in trouble, and he'll be in trouble. I don't know if he loses his job at the end of the season. I don't know. I mean, I hear the boosters like him. I'm not in touch with a lot of the boosters, BJ. I don't know if they still do or whatnot. He has a press conference today in a couple hours. I'm sure he'll address this. Like,
he also has a luncheon with the Lyle Smith Society members today. Nice timing for that.
The timing comes on this stuff.
Yep.
I don't know if Eric McAllister, how big of a reason McAllister's departure is due to specifically Andy Avalos. Maybe he has other issues in other places in his life. You know, you guys have detailed his family story. Eric McAllister didn't grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth, right? I mean, maybe he has other stuff going on in his life and he had to leave immediately. Who knows what it is? Again, until someone can hear McAllister and not maybe a spokesman just saying, hey, he's going to go in the portal, pursue other options. Thank you, Boise State. I'll always be a Bronco. It's always about the brotherhood. See ya. I mean, we'll probably get one of those. Andy today will probably start and say, hey, he's no longer with us. We don't talk about players who aren't here anymore. Yep. Moving on. He did it with same thing he did with Hank Bachmeier last year. Remember?
Never talked about him. He said we talk about players that are in our program.
That's all he said. Jack Sears did the same thing a ways back when Sears left before the bowl game, I think. Nope, we're not talking about him anymore. He's not in the building. No opinion whatsoever. So that's what Andy will say. It's a lot easier to say that when you're winning games too. Isn't it, BJ? It's a lot easier to have that tough guy at the podium deal and say, hey, we're not talking about him. We're moving on. This is the brotherhood. And when you're losing, it doesn't seem to resonate the way it does when you're winning. Because right now, Andy Avalos, I don't know who's on his side with everything that's going on. And if you're a major college football coach, you need a lot of people on your side. You need a lot of people listening to your message and believing that is the message that's going to get you where you want to go. And this season, it just hasn't worked out that way. BJ and McAllister transferring. Who knows if it's going to be the biggest name that leaves or not.
I want to read the statement that Andy Avalos gave to Bronco Nation News when we broke this story this morning via a spokesman. And I want to discuss that because I thought there was some interesting wording from Andy who commented on this. We'll do that in 90 seconds. Quick timeout to thank our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Andy Avalos statement, what it means next. Eric McAlister transferring. You heard it first. Bronco Nation News from the Cutwater Studios. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. All right, back here live, Bronco Nation News, our partnership with KTIK 95.3 The Ticket. Johnny and crew is going to be all over this today from 3 to 6 on Idaho Sports Talk. They'll have you covered with all the news and reaction, what Andy Avalos says or what we expect doesn't say about what is going on with Eric McAlister transferring. And while we have record viewership here, Johnny, 302 people, this might be a record for any BNN show that we've ever done. So appreciate all of you. If you're new, I think it's under Johnny's picture on the right side there is the subscribe on YouTube button. We'd love to have you subscribe, join the BNN YouTube channel, and get more content like this, and subscribe to the website as well. We'd love to have you at bronconationnews.com. $50 for a full year using the promo code BNN50 deal. And as I said, subscribers got their email about 15 minutes before this story was posted to social media. So you get the news first, and you heard it first from Bronco Nation News. All right, the statement from Andy Avalos, Johnny, again, through a spokesman releasing this to me this morning. Quote, Eric McAlister has chosen to no longer compete as a member of our program. We wish him the best in the future, and our focus remains on our next game. That is from Andy Avalos to BNN. Again, Eric McAlister has chosen to no longer compete as a member of our program. Your thoughts on that?
I think that's a little backhanded if you want to be. I mean, you could see some sour grapes in that, right? If you read between the lines, he's chosen he no longer wants to compete. You know, like that's one of those things. Like he's chosen he no longer wants to be a reason that this thing gets good again. He doesn't want to be a part of the solution. He doesn't want to compete anymore. So we're wishing him the best, and we're moving on. It's really interesting because the position of wide receiver, football is the ultimate team game, and wide receiver has this level of individualism that comes with it. You know, the prima donna wide receivers, I'm not getting my touches, I'm not getting my targets. It feels like it's the position you hear the most folks complain about, players complain about on all levels, the wide receiver. And that's nothing. That can't be the case for Emac. He had 19 targets.
The most of any receiver in the country last weekend.
Country, number 1. I mean, he is on the NFL trajectory right here in Boise. He was getting the targets and the numbers this season. He comes back next year. He has another Emac year, but a little better because he gets better. And the dude is in the NFL. He's the next Boise State receiver drafted since what would be Khalil Shakir, I believe. And that's where the mantle is. He's the next guy in the receiver meeting room with his fat head on the wall because he's playing in the NFL, how Boise State does it, or at least they used to do that with their team rooms down there, BJ. All that stuff. No, wants to go do it somewhere else. I mean, whoever the quarterback was, they were at least throwing him the ball. I know he had, 8 catches on the 19 targets or something like that, BJ?
Yep.
Not great percentages, but still, you're getting 19 targets a game. Wherever he's going to go, and it'll be real interesting, BJ, to see if it's Power 5 or see if it's somewhere like...
It'll be
10.
Power 5.
Okay, Power 5. So 19 targets ever in the Power 5 in a single game. He might not do that, but there's other reasons. Obviously, he wants to go do this. Kids can do this now. If they transfer, this is not a one-off. This is what happens. This is, sadly, the nature of the beast. This is what's turning a lot of people off on college football moving forward, is the fact that it's such a business now, and the kids leave so quickly, and they don't even finish seasons anymore because you don't want to get hurt for your next stop. I mean, I get it. I don't like it, but that's what happens, BJ. And McAllister, I mean, he was on the trajectory of having a really good Boise State career. In my opinion, that would have resulted into being drafted in the NFL. That'll probably still happen. Good for him, whatever. But he was on that pace here, and something got in the way of that path. Whether it was Andy, whether it was the receiving coach, Matt Miller, I can't imagine it, whatever, the losing.
The 2 QB, I mean, the 2 QB system, I mean, he's close with Talon. I mean, how does he feel like Talon's getting moved around and all this? I mean, we haven't even gotten to that. The what I would call disrespect of starting Talon Green for one play and then taking him out. I mean, just start Maddox Madsen at that point. Why are you doing that with one play? Like, we don't even have time to get into all that today. I've got all week on my shows to talk about that. I'm sure you'll be all over it on Idaho Sports Talk today. But I want to go back to something you said earlier. We now have 317 people. This has set the record for a live stream audience in the 2 years we've done BNN. We've only been over 300 2 other times. 317 is now the record here. So truly appreciate all of you, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Twitter. Please subscribe to our social media channels, and we appreciate you for this. But Johnny, you said earlier, quote, Avalos or Andy, I don't know who you said, is in trouble, was the phrase you said there. Do you think the star receiver leaving in the middle of the season, does that change your likelihood, thought process on Andy Avalos's job security? Star players leaving, I mean, if there's a mass exodus of players, that might change things. But I mean, I mentioned what kind of message is this sending from Eric McAllister. Do you think that Boise State's administration and Jeremiah Dickey are going to have to, if players start leaving, or even just McAllister leaving, does that force him to have to take a harder look at this?
Yeah. I think Dickey will take a harder look at it now than maybe he was. Yes, and especially if other players leave, and, who knows what stories are going to be told about what's going on. It's real easy on your way out when you're no longer in the building to tell the media, to tweet how crappy it was over there, and people hear that, and people will hear that. Obviously, people are interested by the audience in this video right now, BJ. People want to know what's going on now. Feels like this program, I hate using the word rebuild in college because the rosters transfer so much. It's almost like you have to rebuild every year in college football now, minus your nucleus of players. You have to put the pieces around them. Andy Avalos has to convince Jeremiah Dickey that the next wave, the next chapter, this rebuild, this reboot, this reload is in the best hands with him in charge, with him being the one to say, hey, I get it. Quarterback won't be the McGurkus of circus next year. We won't lose players. We will do everything we can to keep Ashton Genty, and I think that's the story we all know is going to happen eventually, and I don't know anybody that expects Ashton Genty to be with this program next year. Hopefully we're all wrong and the kid stays and this fan base gets one more year of Ashton Genty, but if McAllister's leaving in early November, I don't know what that speaks to on that front as well, BJ. So Andy needs to somehow, some way convince Jeremiah Dickey, or maybe he already has, that, hey, yep, we're moving on. This didn't work in that sense, but we're Boise State. We'll find it, and we'll get back to being conference championship contenders. And that's the decision Jeremiah Dickey is going to have to make. It won't be popular, obviously, if he keeps Andy Avalos, but unpopular decisions are what it's like being an athletic director, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, you do. Now I lost my train of thought because someone said, Kay Foster said, Johnny is cooking this morning in front of a record-setting audience. The great ones step up in prime time.
Oh, yeah. Real cooking today. I love it. Thanks.
Hey, but you mentioned, some other guys, and I just remember what I was going to say. The kind of selling point for Andy being back next year, Johnny, was all the young talent. There was a lot of reasons to be excited. You got EMAC, you got all these young guys, Andrew Simpson, you got, all these players all have eligibility left. I mean, that was kind of one of the biggest selling points for Andy is, hey, we're one of the youngest teams in America right now. Next year's going to be a lot brighter. But if all this young talent, and one of your best young talent players is now leaving, it's a little harder to sell that, I guess, moving forward. So
it's fun, yeah.
Let's. I got to do one more quick timeout, and then we'll continue the discussion. Don't go anywhere. Andy Avalos meeting with the media. We'll stream it, by the way, live at 11:30, earlier than usual today. 11:30 for Andy Avalos. Your thoughts, your reaction. We're keeping this thing rolling a little bit longer. Bronco Nation News back in 90 seconds on the breaking news. Eric McAllister is out. Bronco Nation News told you first. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The McAllister family and SON Management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The McAllister family and SON Management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State Athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. Oh, Johnny, if you could see some of the stuff coming to this phone right here, it'll be an interesting day. Andy Avalos, again, 11:30, meeting with the media.
Is there more coming, BJ?
No, I'm not saying that. Just the reasons. But I mean, maybe not today. I mean, I think we're like you said. I think it's fair to assume there's some more players leaving at some point. I do wonder if this changes the timing of it. I mean, Ashton Genty he is hurt. Ashton Genty has an injury, but if you're Ashton Genty and you're getting big time offers and you're leaving, Johnny, would you risk tearing an ACL to play the last 3 games now? If McAllister's already the first one out, and if you're gone. And he could just say it's an injury and then it doesn't look as bad as if he's quitting on the team. I wonder, does Ashton Genty play again for this team?
Yeah, and I didn't throw this. You remember this. You were a big Johnny Manziel fan, BJ. Maybe it's a financial deal. Okay, maybe he does love the brotherhood. He doesn't have an issue with Andy. Maybe he doesn't even care about the 2 quarterback McGurkus. Maybe it's just to the point now where he knows the lump of money, the sum to which he will receive by going to his next stop. And he's at the point, hey, now that we can't win the conference championship, essentially, I know other people feel differently. They're still in the race, and that's fine. Mathematically, they are. I don't think anybody, I don't think they are, but maybe. And maybe he thought, and he went to Andy and said, look, I have this offer from whatever, A&M State Tech, and it's $850,000, and I need to make sure I get this, coach, and I'm shutting it down. I don't want to play anymore because I don't want to get hurt. It's not the fact that I don't like my role in the offense. Eric McAllister has a good a role in an offense as almost any receiver in America. He is WR number 1. There's not even a wide receiver number 2 on this team. That was like a topic on Idaho Sports Talk. Who is wide receiver 2. That's how further ahead he was. He had a good gig, and maybe it just is he knows Boise State's not going to be able to meet the financial requirements that said Power 5U will, so he's just shutting it down early to ensure himself that he gets that lump of money. And if that is the case, Ashton Genty, wow. One, I think he'd get more money. 2, I think he's more of an injury risk. So yeah, if that's where we're dealing in college football, then that won't surprise me, because that's the crazy Wild West world of college football we're living in. But maybe, PJ, maybe that was a scenario too, that it's money more than anything else. Who knows?
So what do you make of where they're at? 3 games to go. They're 4-5 on the season. Got to win 2 of the next 3 to get to a bowl game. Now you have your star receiver transferring. It's obviously not a good situation right now. What are your big picture thoughts, I guess, after the loss to Fresno? And who knows if more guys start leaving? And I mean, do they even accept a bowl game invite? Is this the year they finally just take the Potato Bowl? I mean, they're going to have to win a road game at Utah State to get to a bowl game, probably. Just your big picture thoughts here, man. This is, again, 1997, the last time they were 4-5, had a losing record in November. This is literally uncharted territories for this program, 2+ decades since this has happened. And, Andy Abel.
Saturday is going to be weird, right? We're going to be at the stadium. New Mexico's in town. Boise State is massive favorites, but it's just going to have this weird feeling. People are still going to go to the game. It'll be almost packed. People love this team. It's a Saturday night. If Andy needs this program ever, it's now. We'll see what fans are saying. Hey, we're still going to support this thing, even though Andy
I can't imagine the attendance is going to be great on Saturday, man.
God, I thought that a couple times, and it still feels like it's over 30. Are you thinking under 30? Like this is
for an 8 p.m. game, game where the weather, I mean, I haven't looked. Let's see if it pops up here. Saturday's high is 52. So at 8 p.m., you're going to be in the 40s, upper 30s, maybe at 8 p.m. for a 4-5 game, and you're favored by 26 over New Mexico. I mean, the season ticket holders, people that already bought tickets may go, but I'm not sure. Save your money, maybe, and go to the San Francisco, game on Sunday afternoon at Extra Mile Arena.
It'll be a weird crowd. It'll be a weird feeling. It'll be eerie. And as far as the rest of the season, I mean, win that game, and like you said, it might come down to a Utah State game that this team is even bowl eligible. If they are bowl eligible, what do they do with that? Andy needs the bowl practices. So if he still is the coach, he's going to want to go to a bowl game, you would think, so they can get those practices in, but maybe not if there is a mass exit.
This might just be one of those years to say heck with it, man. And again, they got to win. Who says they're going to win 2 of the last 3 games to even get to a bowl game at this point? I don't think you can be super confident saying they're going to go on the road and win at Utah State right now. This team's 1-4 on the road this season, Johnny.
No way. Yeah, no way. No, they might be dogs in that game, honestly. So yeah.
Wow. Well, you'll have it all covered on Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK 95.3 FM, 1350 AM. 11:30 a.m. again, the press conference, Johnny, and we'll see if Eric McAlister, again, I have reached out, have contacted Eric McAlister and let him give his side of the story if he so chooses, and we'll see if that if that happens. And I'm curious how he spins this. Eric McAlister, does he come out and what do you think Eric McAlister says? Is he gonna take shots on the way out, just say he wasn't feeling it? Does he say that there's bigger issues in the program? I mean, maybe he says nothing at all, but I do wonder, Eric McAlister, what he's willing to say on this.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if maybe McAllister read that statement and says, whoa, it wasn't that I wasn't willing to compete anymore. I've been competing all year. I'm one of the best players on this team. I've been working hard despite a lot of interesting circumstances within this offense. Maybe he comes back that way. I doubt it, though. He probably does what they all do. Post something on Instagram, brotherhood forever. I love you,
Bronco Nation. Yep.
Thank you so much, but I have to go do something else, and it'll probably be that. And we'll move on. And who's wide receiver number 1 now? Who leads this team in catches from the receiver position for the next 3 weeks?
Well, we don't know about Steph Cobbs, man. He kind of came off injured. You don't know if Steph Cobb's status for the rest of the season. I mean, this is obviously going to be an opportunity for Prince Strawn and Austin Bolt to get some more reps, later in the season. Billy Bowens probably would be wide receiver 1 at this point.
Okay. Yeah. And Billy Bones is a program kid. He's not leaving anywhere. They need his leadership. They need the leadership of DJ Schramm and Riley Smith, assuming they still have it. You know, we know those kids pretty well. They're program kids all the way. But, man, you're going to get a lot of people watching that presser today, I think.
Yeah, 11:30. Johnny, quick thought. Basketball season starts tomorrow. You're going to be there at Extra Mile Arena, I assume, tomorrow night. They got the media in a new spot. We're not courtside anymore. We're a little higher up. But I know that obviously you need to have a good football program. You need to have good football program helps all the other sports. I get it. But it seems like there is so much excitement. People ready to move on to basketball season. Early in the season, they got Vanguard tomorrow and then a nice early sneaky test against San Francisco on Sunday. I think there's going to be a lot of interest early in the season, and this team should be fun to watch. I think it's shaping up to be a fun season covering the basketball team.
Yeah, I'm excited for basketball season, BJ. I like the guys on the team, the coaches. They're fun to follow. They're fun to watch play. I can see them connect with this community, and I like what I see there. And you know what? Start the journey, right? Start the journey. It feels like a marathon. March feels like 2 years away from right now, but it's going to creep on up. But, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, I believe, to watch that game. And Idaho Sports Talk will be talking about basketball season and this basketball team probably a lot more in the months of November and December than we're used to. But this drama train that is Boise State football.
Oh, you just had your 3-hour show. Just turn on the mic. You just had your planning meeting, man. This is got filling 3 hours of sports talk radio all over it.
The drama on this team, man. So yeah, BJ. Yeah, you got the Dr. Pepper going already. I love it. I'll see you down at the Blameyer.
I'm gonna keep this going for a little bit, folks. We'll let Johnny roll. Appreciate all you guys. Stick around. We'll take more of your comments, more of your thoughts, what this means for the future of the football program, and we will talk basketball a little bit as well. Got a cool announcement to make, and we'll do that when we come back. Bronco Nation News. Don't go anywhere. Back in 90 seconds. You looking for a new job? Well, how about getting into the trucking industry? Our friends at Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood, all the paperwork, all the things you need. Let them help you out. Transcomservice.com. They'll have you out there towing that first load in no time. Transcomservice.com. United Commercial Insurance makes business insurance easy. They can write business policy insurance in 44 states around the country. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Give them a call, 229-8222. Bronco Nation News, a proud client of United Commercial Insurance. We highly recommend you do as well at UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. The Raines family is happy to have made the switch to Boise Dentistry Co. Highly recommend you do as well. Dr. Miner and his staff, full family dentistry for the whole family. They make it an enjoyable experience to go to the dentist, and we highly recommend you check them out. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley. You may think you're happy with your dentist. You'll be even happier if you make the switch to Dr. Miner and Company. Check them out online, BoiseDentistryCo.com. The pounds continue to fall off, and it's thanks to Dave and our friends over at Lean Feast. Check them out, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Full customizable meal prep. You want to go into the store, pick out your meals individually. That's great. It's right there on Eagle Road in Meridian. Or you can do it all online at leanfeast.com/Meridian, and they'll deliver it to you. 208-487-5782. They're feeding the football team, the basketball team, Taylon Green, Ashton Genty, Tyson Degenhart, and more. Check them out. Lean Feast, leanfeast.com/Meridian. Still time to get that fall round of golf in, and you need to do it at Timberstone Golf Course out in Caldwell. Book a tee time at playtimberstone.com. The best greens in the valley, new technology, new golf carts, friendly environment, fun, challenging course. Check them out, Timberstone Golf Course. Book your tee time today, and I'll see you out there. PlayTimberstone.com. Perfect morning to get some Bronco Brew coffee. Make sure to check them out. They are supporting Boise State University Athletics with every sip. We've told you about them, but literally $2 or $3 from every one of these bags of coffee goes right into the Boise State athlete of your choice as part of an NIL deal. So you can go to broncobrew.coffee, see the full list of athletes that are on there. I know Markel Reed is on there, Kobe Young, some other Olympic sport athletes as well. They're adding more players, but you can set it up for weekly deliveries. They'll mail it to you anywhere in the country. It's not roasted until you order it. So it's the freshest coffee. It's delicious. And you are literally supporting the NIL game at Boise State with every sip. And let's be honest now, Eric McAlister leaving, probably has something to do with NIL. And so folks like Bronco Brew Coffee are trying to step up. They're trying to get $100,000 into the QB1 fund that they can give to attract a top quarterback to Boise State. And that takes 700 people making the switch to Bronco Brew Coffee. If 700 people just redirect their coffee dollars, then that gets you $100,000 over the course of a year. So help them out. Get some good coffee in the process. BroncoBrew.coffee. Check them out online, BroncoBrew.coffee. 11:30 a.m. As we said, we will have the press conference streaming live. Andy Avalos, 11:30 this morning. They're moving it up 30 minutes. It'll be on the BNN YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. As I said, would love to have you subscribe. $50, support us. You saw this news first. You still haven't seen this news at some other outlets in town. BNN had it first. We sent it to our subscribers via email at about 6:45 this morning. It went on social media around 7, and $50 for a full year using the promo code BNN50deal. All it takes is BNN50deal is the promo code, and you get a full year of daily emails, exclusive content at Bronco Nation News. I forgot to mention, by the way, with Johnny, they'll have Ball Talk tonight. So Ball Talk, Mike Sanford's thoughts, Eric McAlister transferring with 3 games left in the season. You ain't going to want to miss that. Mike Sanford, John Mallory will be all over this tonight, 8 o'clock on Ball Talk. So make sure you check that out tonight, and you come back at 8 o'clock for Ball Talk. But again, would love to have you subscribe on social media. Would love to have, that's free. The YouTube channel, these shows are free. If you're just catching us for the first time, we cover Boise State, Mountain West athletics. Choose down here the red subscribe button and join us on YouTube. And as I said, $50 gets you a subscription for the full year. So a lot of you guys are saying Genty's gone, Green's gone. I mean, we'll find out obviously here moving forward who is actually gone, but I certainly don't think it's crazy to expect some players to be leaving here moving forward. And again, leaving now, does that change things? If there's some sort of mass exodus, does that change the job status of Andy Avalos? Does Jeremiah Dickey have to look at this and say, okay, it's either keep Avalos and lose a lot of the roster, or keep these guys and have to go find a different coach? I mean, it's a very tough situation, but it might be a conversation and a decision that Jeremiah Dickey has to make. I mean, the fact that Eric McAlister did this with 3 games left in the season, I think sends a pretty clear message, unfortunately, on a lot of different fronts. And so I've been a believer in Andy Avalos. I believed all along that he would be back next year. They do have a lot of young talent, but again, if a lot of players, start leaving the team and stuff comes out about, that, then that might have to change things at some point. So very interesting times in Boise State athletics right now. As I mentioned, the first basketball game is tomorrow night. We will have the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And happy to announce that Abe Jackson will be back on the pregame shows this year. The Abe Jackson pregame report, the color analyst for the radio broadcast with Bob Beeler. Every game, home and road, you'll hear Abe Jackson on the Bronco Nation News pregame report. So we are actually going to tape an interview with Abe later today. We'll play it tomorrow. We're going to do it live, but I figured today was mostly a football show. But you'll hear from Abe tomorrow morning, get a season preview, and then tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, you'll hear Abe on the pregame show as Boise State opens the men's basketball season against Vanguard. So Sunday is the big one. Sunday is the big game against San Francisco, a nice early season top 100 KenPom team. That'll be a nice early test for Boise State. I know my wife and kids are looking forward to going this week. They've got the Flex Pass, so they've got the season tickets to a different seat every game, and I know they're looking forward to getting down there and seeing this team, and should be a lot of fun. So somebody had asked earlier if I was going to be there covering the game tomorrow. Yes, I will. They are moving us to a slightly different location, so come say hello if you're there, but to make plans 6 p.m. for the pregame show, and the game tips off around 7 o'clock. So Crazy times in Boise State athletics. Again, BNN had it first. We'll take a couple comments here before we get out of here. Let's see here. I don't think people are talking about Genty being scouted, being offered money. I mean, that's not a shocker. I don't think that should be surprise you. I'm sure it happened at the end of last season. And in the way college athletics works now, there's back channeling, there's things happening. I feel pretty confident that had something to do with Eric McAlister leaving, to be completely honest with you. So I think that is what happens. And schools like Boise State are going to be in a much tougher spot moving forward, where you get star players. You got to find a way to keep them, or find a coach that they all love to play for and don't want to leave, and maybe won't take the highest offer, because I certainly think that NIL has something to do with Eric McAlister being on the way out. And so, again, the comment from Andy Avalos, we'll see if he says anything else about it today. I'm not expecting Andy Avalos to say much. I think he's going to say, I'm talking about the players that are here, and he's moving on. It wouldn't shock me if he said nothing about Eric McAllister today, but he might take the opportunity to talk about NIL and talk about where Boise State is and how they need to find ways to raise more money and do more things to keep some of these guys. So we'll see what he ends up how he ends up handling this, but I don't expect him to say much, to be completely honest with you. Let's see. Why would Genty go? Has 1 year left till the NFL. Lots of production, good O-line, doesn't make sense. Oh, I can give you about 7 figures worth of reasons of why it makes sense. I think Ashton Genty could get several $100,000 going to the SEC probably if he wanted to. So I think that it's 100% a money thing. Could Ashton Genty get 300 carries next year if he's healthy and put up huge numbers and still be a first or second round draft pick? Probably so. But if you can do that in the SEC and get 6 figures worth of money, high 6 figures to take care of your family, that's also something you got to consider. So again, nothing has been reported. No one, the only player that has said he is leaving now is Eric McAllister. So I know a lot of people are making assumptions, talking about other things, but the only player that has come out now, will others follow? Are there guys that are for sure gone after the season that might change their mind and just come out and do it now too? Not risk injury playing in the last 3 games. Maybe that happens. Be fascinating to see what happens with Taylor Green, and be fascinating to find out who starts at quarterback on Saturday, because that one play thing was just crazy. We talked about it on the post-game show, but that's now 4 games in a row. Madsen's played more. I mean, if Taylor Green were the one that would have come out and said, I'm out of here, like, who would have blamed him? The way that he's been, getting moved around in and out of the lineup, and the way the coaching staff has handled Taylor Green's situation, wouldn't surprise me one bit if he were to be the one the next one to say he's gone. But you never know. Maybe he likes it here. Maybe he wants to stay. Maybe he has a chance to compete next year. I don't know. But I find it hard to believe, as many of you probably do. If you were a betting person, you're probably not expecting to have Taylor Green on the team next year. So that's why I said on social media yesterday, I think they should give CJ Tiller a shot. I'm not sure they will, and I'm not saying you start him and play him the whole game, but you only got 4 games left counting the bowl game. CJ Tiller can still redshirt this season, and CJ Tiller could take every snap left the rest of the season and still count it as a redshirt year. Why would you not give CJ Tiller a couple series here and there? Let him get his feet wet. Let him get some experience. See what you have in him to know how you can lean on him next season if he has to potentially be a significant role on this team. So I don't know if they'll do it. I'm going to ask Bush Hamden about it. But I think that CJ Tiller, why not at this point? So a lot of questions, a lot of unknown answers, a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, trying to keep it to what we know at this point, and that is that Eric McAllister has decided to lay it out there, and put it out there that he is gone. I wonder if Ashton Genty plays another down. I mean, maybe he comes back and wants to show future schools that he's healthy. But again, if Ashton Genty is injured and we don't know the severity of the injury, it's much easier for him to just say he's unable to play than a Eric McAllister who has decided publicly to leave with 3 games left. Genty could just not play, say he's injured, and then just leave after the season. And I don't think you guys would look as bad as, or think as badly of him as if he were to just say, today in an hour that he's gone. So, we'll find out what happens. I think there's a lot of unknown answers here with the roster. And now I think you have more questions about the coaching staff, and what does Jeremiah Dickey decide to do there? What does Andy Avalos say in the press conference today to try to, rally Bronco Nation and rally the troops here with 3 games to go? I think is going to be very interesting. And we will have it live 9:30. Excuse me, 9:30. It's 9:47. I just looked at my clock. 11:30. I'm getting texts left and right. A lot's going on. I apologize. Obviously, this is a breaking story that is still developing. And 11:30 today, Andy Avalos will have his live press conference, and we will stream it on the Bronco Nation News social media channels. So appreciate the 261 of you still watching this. A lot going on in Bronco Nation. And again, you heard it first at Bronco Nation News. Tell your friends. We'd love to have you subscribe. We got a cool contest we're announcing tomorrow, a cool thing for subscribers. You got to be a yearly subscriber to be eligible, and we'll fill you in on the details tomorrow on the pregame show. So thank you guys for checking us out. I've got to continue to track this story and see what's going on, see if there's more news to come. And then we got to get ready and get the streaming going at 11:30 for the Andy Avalos press conference. So going to check out of here. Make sure you listen to our friends at Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK, 3 to 6 p.m. today. They'll have you covered. You got Ball Talk at 8 p.m. tonight with Johnny and Mike Sanford. And again, 11:30 streaming live this morning. We'll have the Andy Avalos press conference on the Bronco Nation News social media channel. So subscribe to BNN on social. Subscribe to BNN at the website, bronconationnews.com. $50 for a full year using that promo code BNN50 deal. We appreciate your support. And crazy times in Bronco athletics right now. First basketball game tomorrow, though, so there is some reasons to be excited here moving forward. And we'll have you covered every step of the way. Keep it tuned. Bronco Nation News Live, bronconationnews.com.